All right, welcome everybody. Let me make sure this is working. Okay, we're live now. All right, welcome everybody to this quick little coaching call. I've actually got a good guy, friend of mine. He's in our mastermind and academy, Chris Williams. And man, this guy, he's been crushing it out in real estate. This guy, he's done. He just closed 5 deals in the past 30 days. I was pretty sure he's on his sixth now. He's quit
Yeah,
his
I'm
job finally, which
seven
is
now,
great.
actually.
7 deals now. He's in there, and he just put his 2 week notice in, quit his job last week. And so what I did was I asked Chris to come on the call real quick to talk about what he's been doing in his business and how he's been able to be so successful. So Chris, man, I got a question for you. What were you doing? The job that you just quit. What were you doing?
You know what? I was actually a project manager for a redevelopment company. So we were flipping houses. We flipped about probably around 60 houses. It's pretty much our yearly average. And so I started off kind of as an office assistant and just worked my way up within a couple months to project manager. And so I was there for about a year and a half. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I got my license about a year ago. I just started putting a little bit more effort into that along with the wholesaling about 6 months ago.
Okay, okay, all right. So you definitely had some experience then, which was good. Okay, so you got into wholesaling. When did you say you really kind of focused on wholesaling?
It was actually probably about 6 or 7 months ago over the summer.
Okay,
I my first inception into real estate was about 4 years ago. I started learning about wholesaling and investing. Had a business partner for about 2 years. We did decent in 2010, 2011 kind of sucked, but the main gist of it was I did a lot of the analyzing and the marketing, and he was the mouthpiece. So he was the negotiator, got everything under contract, sold it, and all that. And we eventually went separate ways about maybe 2.5 years ago or so. And then so I spent 2012 on my own. It was actually probably the worst year I've ever had. I didn't make any money, didn't close any deals. My self confidence and everything was at an all time low. So I picked up kind of odd and end jobs here and there. Before I got into real estate, I cleaned pools for a company. So in that 2012 time, I just kind of picked up side jobs, working on people's pools, painting people's houses, doing handyman work,
okay,
working on odd and end jobs. I delivered mail for a while, which absolutely sucked, and eventually got a job with that company towards the end of 2012. I think about October, November, started looking for them. So um, that's what I did for a long time. I really gave up on wholesaling for a while. Um, Again, like I said, my confidence was so low that I had really convinced myself that I wasn't capable of it. Because looking at my personality, I'm pretty much very introverted, real quiet, real analytical. Whereas like I saw all these other salespeople, and they were natural, type A, type B type of people, real vocals, outgoing, had no problem talking to people, negotiating. I never saw myself becoming that, but last summer I really hit this point of frustration. Seeing I was recently engaged. Fiance was giving me all these bills we needed to pay for the wedding. My car needed to go and shop. It was giving me a couple of months, and I was looking, basically making $7 an hour, making somebody else rich,
right.
and just really got to this point where it's like, I've been sitting here complaining about all this, but yet I already know what it takes to be successful, regardless of my personality type. Number one thing I wasn't doing what I needed to do was take it. And so I really got to this point where I almost just had to like slap myself out of it and understand, well, God has given me everything I need to be successful, whether or not I have the knowledge or the skills that all these other people do is irrelevant. The fact that I'm living, I'm breathing, I have free internet, free access to whatever I want. There's really no excuse for me to not be doing deals.
Right.
And so, um, yeah, that was in the summer. I just said, you know what, this is do or die. I'm going to do it. I really have no time in my job. I was in the middle of remodeling 12 houses, and I was, you know, almost pulling out my hair, just so busy again working for somebody else. I just said, you know what, in the next 30 days, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I have to make 10 grand. This is do or die. I'm going to do it. There's no excuses. This is my only option. There is no plan B. There's no what if, this is it. And within the next 30 days, I just got out there. Every break that I had for work, I was on the phone. Every lunch break, I would clock out 5:30. I'd work until 8 or 9 o'clock, just trying to work to get some stuff going. And within 30 days, I didn't make 10 grand. I made 15 grand, and I lined up 5 deals and closed them. Uh, and I was after that, I was almost out, just crazy. I mean, I had in that month I had no life, you know. So I kind of slowed down a bit, and then just both here and there towards the end of the year, and then towards about December, I was like, okay, 2014 is going to be my year.
Right.
There's no excuse. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. I've seen it. I've done it. So going into 2014, that was the first year where I actually sat down, wrote out my goals, and wrote out a plan to complete those goals. And so basically lined up my entire marketing for the whole year. And so I started implementing that towards the end of December, and then it's just like clockwork. Deals have just been coming in.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm glad you talked about that down point, because that's what happens sometimes. It's like you got to hit that down point, and then that's what just has you. It just keeps you fueled, and you're like, all right, I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm going all out, and it's either this or I die. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, I mean, how did you even come up with that type of attitude? Because that's a lot. What happens with people, they they get frustrated and then they kind of like give up. But how did you kind of get the attitude to keep going?
Keep going, man. It was all mindset. It was just being really frustrated about where I was at, because it's just like, I know where God has called me. I know what He's, the vision that He's put in my mind and in my heart, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but yet almost being at the exact opposite of that, just making enough money just to get by, just to pay my bills, and really feeling so outside of where I know I'm supposed to be. I mean, in all honesty, it came down to, in order for me to get up and take action, I really had to really get pissed off. I had to get really mad at myself and almost beat myself into that position, to where the only thing I could do is take action. The only thing I could do is do deals and be successful in that, and not give myself any other choice. Because ultimately, one thing that I really struggle with is being comfortable. If I have two options, either being challenged or being comfortable, naturally I'm going towards being comfortable.
Exactly.
And I just look like everybody else, and I stay in the same position that I've always been, which is just being comfortable, but not really going beyond that point. You know what I mean?
Right, most definitely, and that's what happens to a lot of us. Kind of somewhat what I did. I quit my job. I didn't even give it 2 week notice, so I just said, I'm just gonna do it. But I mean, that's good, man. You really provide a inspiration for people that what it takes. It takes hard work. It's not an easy business, but it's a simple business. And so going into that, talking about it, what I want to talk about is the core of marketing and how important this is in real estate wholesaling. Your aspect on and your takes of that.
Oh, it's I wouldn't say it's the most important thing, because I think you could probably name a handful of things that are the most important thing. But realistically, you got to think about it. Pretty much, if you're a traditional wholesaler, you don't. If you're not trying to wholesale deals on the MLS, or referrals or something like that, 100% of your business relies on marketing. And that's actually one thing that I've been trying to change my mindset, is take my mindset out of the investor mindset and actually put myself into the marketing mindset. Because really, if you look at the traditional wholesaling of assigning or double closing, you're really not investing. You're really not a real estate investor. You're
Right.
a real estate marketer.
Right.
And so instead of always taking this mindset of numbers, numbers when it comes to the actual deal, understand that the two most important things of a marketer is advertising and prospecting. And I'd say also goal setting and planning probably goes with that too. So marketing, taking action in marketing is absolutely crucial. And of course, following up phone calls. That and that right there that was probably my biggest struggle, was the phone. Never really had to deal with the phones before, so anytime I would get a phone call or need to follow up on a phone call, I would get so scared. Like I would get so nervous that I would be shaking. I would I would do everything I could to just stall, not having to get on the phone. And I had to come to a point where I had to understand, you know, uh, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yep.
I don't know if you ever heard that. It's just like if I don't get on the phone, I'm not going to close the deal, and I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. You know, I had to put myself into that mindset.
Right.
So yeah, marketing is absolutely key. Absolutely key.
Okay.
Without marketing, no deals.
Exactly. You don't have a business. All right. So we had one of the questions from one of our members too. He wanted to know what I mean. Of course, you're doing wholesaling, but are you focusing on just marketing to motivated sellers, like for sale by owners, or are you doing like REOs or any type of other transactions?
I'm not doing anything on the MLS. So no short sales, no REOs, nothing listed. To me, it's just a lot of time. There's here in Fresno, we have over 4,000 real estate agents, probably more investors than that as well. So um, it's just a whole nother niche that for me would just take a lot of time
Yeah.
that I really don't care to do. You know, I'm going to stick with what I know, which is traditional wholesaling, mostly bandit signs and direct mail. Um, I'd say half of my deals have been bandit signs and half have been direct mail.
Oh, that's good.
A
Okay.
couple here and there have been from Craigslist, which people call in like ads.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, that's good. So and you're in is that North Cal or that's South Cal?
It's Central.
Central. Okay.
Yeah, Central California.
I know it's California, period, up and down. It's a competitive market. So,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
got to always be out there continuously marketing and following up, which is key. Okay. Also, we had another question that come in from another mastermind member. He wanted to know, what would you recommend someone do to get their first deal done?
and I would say stay focused. One of the things that kind of messed me up when I first left my business partner is, you know, I had plenty of money saved up. I had a few grand. I could have done a lot of marketing, but um, I really got sidetracked by all of the golden carrots. You know, I was getting emails about bulk REO, about lease options, about owner finance, about traditional wholesaling, about REO wholesaling, and so I I constantly thought that I was going to be missing opportunities if I didn't try to go after all of those. So
Yeah.
uh, I spent so much time and money trying to put my hands everywhere that I eventually ended up with nothing. So I would say, at least in the beginning, find one niche, learn it, and take action in that. Realistically, number one thing, of course, is marketing and traditional wholesaling, whether that's bandit signs. I highly recommend bandit signs as a first option, because you think about, for me, I buy 100 printed signs at it's 185, so a buck 85. You put up 100 signs, you're gonna almost guaranteed to be getting a deal out of that if you put up 100 signs in a weekend. Of course, if you put them in the right area and positioning, um, and I think as well is having some sort of plan. Number one, a clearly defined reason and goal as to why you want a deal, and always remind yourself of that, and then also write a plan that you can implement that will help you achieve that goal as well.
Most definitely, most definitely. I agree. And one thing I like that you touched on earlier was about your fiance. That was like your why. You always
Yeah,
got to have something bigger than yourself to keep you going. Because if you don't, you're gonna give up. You know.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I like that you mentioned that about that as well too. So I mean, talk about some of the things that you've learned from the RI Wealth Mastermind Academy, and would you recommend that to anyone else as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a lot of your videos, listened to your podcasts, and all that. It's really helped me to stay focused and to stay motivated. I definitely recommend, listening to podcasts, watching videos on a daily basis. Just put yourself in that mindset, that business mindset, that success mindset. Um, One thing that I just recently implemented from seeing you talk about it was zip letters. Sent out a few hundred. I got a lot of phone calls. Um, I'm working on some leads right now that came from that. That it looks like I should be getting 1 or 2 deals out of a few hundred. I think I sent about 400.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's great. That's great. Okay. So, I mean, tell me about it, man. How was that feeling walking out of your job, man? How was that feeling, man?
Oh man, it was an amazing feeling. I mean, really, because it, it, even though really I loved my job. Like, my boss and all my bosses are amazing people, very encouraging. The fact that I got to do what I love, which was real estate. I didn't get paid much, but I still got paid to, be in real estate. It was pretty awesome. One of my passions is the city I live in. I absolutely love this town. So being able to go in and to go into our communities and to take these dilapidated houses and to make them new, put a new family in that is like, that right there is my heart's desire. So it's amazing. But at the end of the day, I'm still busting my butt to make somebody else rich. So
Right.
being able to relieve myself of several hundred or not, several $1 million of somebody else's money, um, honestly, it was like the weight of the world just got off my shoulders. And now it's just like I see there's so much opportunity in front of me, and I'm not bound by somebody else's schedule and somebody else's requirements of me. Um, you know, as much as I can work, that's my opportunity, and I think it's totally amazing. And every day I can't but help to get on my knees and thank God for this amazing opportunity for He's blessed me with. But what the future holds.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. All right. Well, one last thing I wanted to ask you, and that's what tip would you give someone out there that is struggling right now? They're in the mastermind group, or they're whatever, they're watching this video from YouTube right now, or whatever the case may be. What tip would you give them right now for them to go on ahead and get their first deal done, and not even just first deal done, just be able to create a business,
Yeah.
for themselves? What would you give them?
Uh, Honestly, stay consistent um, in whatever kind of marketing you're doing, whether that's letters to absentee owners or whether that's bandit signs. Just stay consistent in something that works. Um, don't send an absentee list letters this month, and then next month send a list to probate, and then the month after that send a list to somebody completely different, and then sit back and wonder why you're not doing any deals. Just like you got to be absolutely consistent in what you're doing. You got to understand there's tons of competition. Not only competition when it comes to potential sellers, but there's also a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
People have their day-to-day lives, they have their jobs, they have their family. So getting a letter one time, they're probably not going to put any thought into it, or seeing a bandit sign on the corner one time, probably not really going to take much attention to it. But if you consistently make yourself known, someone who's not a motivated seller today might be a motivated seller tomorrow. And if you're consistently in front of them, then when the time comes, they're going to pick up the phone and call you.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys heard it first. Chris, man, like I said, I'm proud of you, man. We got some more things I'm gonna be helping you out with systemizing your business and getting
Yeah,
some assistance and stuff like that. But keep crushing it, man. Keep inspiring the community, because you are a man of total, taking action. You're doing what you say you do, and
yeah,
I love what you're doing, man. I love what you're
yeah.
doing. Yep.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I definitely appreciate what you do to the community as well. I owe a lot to people like you that regularly put out a lot of free information that really you don't have to. And so, I appreciate you paying it forward, and I look forward to doing the same as well.
All right, definitely. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.
All right, see you guys.
All right.